All right, just a week ago, you had the Assam Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, who's going into elections in just the next 1 month for the state of Assam, made a controversial statement where he said that give a Mia, symbolically meaning Muslims, 1 rupee less if you hire him for a rickshaw. Many at that point of time looked at it as a deeply polarizing and a bigoted statement. Well, it was only yesterday that the BJP Assam social media handle on X put out a deeply disconcerting, controversial video which was posted by the Assam BJP that put Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma under sharp political scrutiny. The clip seemed to suggest that, not just suggest, outrightly seemed of hunting down of Muslims. The clip was taken down after widespread outrage, but questions remain over its content and its intent. And will deleting be enough? Should action be taken? Here's the full report.
A gunshot, a bullet that targets men in skull caps. A video posted by the Assam BJP's official handle puts Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma at the center of a storm. The post goes up, outrage erupts, and then it's deleted. But is deleting the post enough? The clip shows Himanta aiming and firing. Captions scream, point blank shot, no mercy, foreigner free Assam. This in a state where nearly 35% of the population is Muslim. Critics warn such imagery is incendiary and dangerous. Congress calls it the face of fascism.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ साथ चुनाव आयोग को, सुप्रीम कोर्ट को भी स्वतः संज्ञान लेना चाहिए। क्या वो संविधान की शपथ लेते हैं? और जिस प्रकार के वो टारगेट बना के रखा आपने देखा होगा, तो ये एक चीज भारत की भी छवि खराब हो रही है कि आप किस प्रकार एक माइनॉरिटी के साथ या आप किस प्रकार व्यवहार रखते हैं, आपकी सोच क्या है?
TMC says deletion does not erase incitement. AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi files a police complaint, calling it a call to genocide. Owaisi urged Hyderabad police to take necessary legal action. Himanta denies targeting Muslims, says his fight is against illegal foreigners.
बांग्लादेशी मुसलमान का खिलाफ हम लोग बोलते रहता हूँ, घुसपैठिया का खिलाफ हम लोग बोलते रहता हूँ। किस लिए? अगर मैं नहीं बोलूँगा तो वो मुझे खा जाएगा, मैं नहीं मारूंगा तो वो मुझे मारेगा। तो that is the situation of Assam.
The video is gone, no apology, no explanation. Deletion may erase a post. It does not erase the message or the question. Is deleting enough?
All right, the latest news break now coming in is that clearly trouble is mounting for the incumbent Assam Chief Minister and those behind that controversial, deeply problematic communal post which was posted by the BJP Assam unit. 12 eminent citizens and activists have filed a plea in Supreme Court. The plea states that Himanta Biswa Sarma is inciting hatred, Assam Chief Minister making anti-Muslim statements. Former Delhi LG Najib Jung, activist John Dayal are a part as petitioners. Over 12 prominent citizens from across the country have come together suggesting that that particular tweet incites hatred. It's a call for violence, for genocide is what the plea states, that Assam Chief Minister is making anti-Muslim statements. Part of the petitioners are Delhi LG, former LG, Najib Jung, activist John Dayal. All of them are part as petitioners there. We're going to try and get an understanding from my colleague Anisha Mathur. All right, we don't have Anisha with us, but huge amounts of furor across the country at that one particular social media post, which was in effect taken down after widespread condemnation and protest. I am joined right now. Let's cut across. All right, I am joined right now with Mr. Gaurav Gogoi. He's a Congress MP. He's also the president of the Congress party where the state of Assam is concerned. He is the face of the Congress going into election, hoping to displace Himanta Biswa Sarma. Mr. Gogoi, thank you for taking the time out and joining us this evening. I want to ask you up front about an advertisement or a part of a campaign that has created stir. The Chief Minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, with a gun in hand, firing at and saying that the BJP Assam Pradesh at point blank range. The BJP Assam says it was against Bangladeshis who were illegal migrants, but it has led to a huge controversy. The ad, in effect, has been withdrawn.
The quality of leadership will be a key factor in this Assam election 2026. And Himanta Biswa Sarma continues to show why he is unfit to occupy the chair of the chief minister. Not only this particular case, but in recent times, there has been hate speech against a particular community that has also been taken to court. This video of him openly calling for genocide of a minority community is also absolutely illegal. And even yesterday in his press conference, he did another illegal activity by disclosing passport details, private information of my minor children who are age 5 and 9. And therefore, this is a person who is so desperate that he would go to any length and even do something as illegal as calling for genocide. And therefore, people of Assam are going to throw him out because they want to see a real leadership, and they want to see leadership that practices the values of Shri late Tarun Gogoi.
Mr. Gogoi, the Chief Minister would have us believe, and he says, and as well as Assam leaders of the BJP say, that they're out to protect the cultural and ethnic identity of the Assamese, which they believe is being destroyed because of illegal infiltration from across the border. They also say that this ad or this campaign was primarily aimed at illegal immigration. You are saying you use the word genocide. Do you believe that these ads are dog whistle promoting genocide, or as the BJP claims, promoting an ethnic and cultural identity of Assam?
The BJP has got nothing to do with promoting the ethnic culture of Assam. They have ended the Assam Accord, something which meant dear to the people of Assam. They have sold close to 40,000 acres, 40,000 bighas, 12,000 acres of land to big corporate giants. These are land which belonging to the indigenous tribals of Assam who are protected under 6th schedule. The Chief Minister openly quotes people who are involved in cow smuggling, in drug smuggling, in coal smuggling. So there's by no means are there anyone to give a certificate on what defines culture and what does not.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gogoi, for taking the time out and joining us. Joining me right now is Mr. Dushyant Dave, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court, Swapnil Kothari, Senior Lawyer, Supreme Court, Aman Lekhi, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court. Mr. Dave, we have now 12 petitioners who have gone to court, eminent people from society, saying that this was a call to violence, this was genocide, and just mere deleting that social media post is not enough.
First and foremost, I think time has come for the Bharatiya Janata Party to publicly say that we must remove the word fraternity from the preamble of the Constitution. I mean, these acts are now increasing beyond imagination. It is happening consistently. It happened during 2024, election campaign. Prime Minister Modi used really very, very derogatory, words against the Muslim community. And this is now the final nail in the coffin, this, campaign advertisement. I mean, it's a disgrace that we should, as a nation, have a political party which is in power, which is a very well, regarded party, which should have a campaign like this. I mean, it really makes one sad. Dr. Ambedkar had said that 3 things are most important for a social democracy of India to survive: liberty, equality, and fraternity. And he called them a trinity. Now look at the way we are behaving. I mean, BJP itself in its election manifesto of 2024 has declared that we don't want minoritism, we don't want to support minority appeasement, but we want minoritism, and we want to give minority equal opportunity in this country, in education, in development, and we want to ensure their security. Now, if this is their manifesto, the chief minister has done exactly opposite to that. And this is really going to provoke people. You see, there is already an atmosphere of serious hatred in this country. Unfortunately, this has been going on for a long time. And constitutional, institutions have not been able to stop this. So I think, they have moved the Supreme Court, and I hope and pray that Supreme Court really intervenes. But to my mind, this video campaign really falls foul of the law. It is clearly violative of the section 196, 197 of the new criminal procedure, new IPC, BNS, as it called, and it invites 5 years imprisonment. The chief minister and all those who are behind this, campaign should be prosecuted forthwith.
Okay.
And really be taken to task, because if we don't stop this nonsense now, it will really lead to a very serious issue, as Ambedkar had warned, because the minority community is an explosive force, according to him.
Okay.
Want that to
All right,
happen.
I want to, stay with sir. I want to bring in Swapnil Kothari. And Swapnil Kothari, I'd like to know why this video is not in violation of section 196 of the new laws that we have.
Well, Preeti, the reason why I would think so, first of all, let me give a caveat. Promotion of enmity, 196. 299, outraging the religious feelings. And 103, hate crimes. These are all belong to the BNS, the new criminal code, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. As any law student will tell you, it needs to have a criminal intention. So the intention has to be established on part of the chief minister and his cohorts who have been alleged to do so. Now, if an intention can be proved along with other corroborating evidence, then obviously all these three sections will come into play. But from the looks of it, I think if at all this video was put, it was put to dissuade Bangladeshi infiltrators, from what I understand from the facts.
Swapnil Kothari, I'd just like to know.
That is what I've been told.
No, you've been told, but I'll ask you a question, because you're
Please.
here in the capacity of a lawyer, and there are a lot of
Yes.
people who really want to know how,
Absolutely.
you've seen the, I hope you've come here
Yes.
after you've seen the advertisement
Yes,
and the
of course,
campaign.
of course I have.
So if you have seen the advertisement and a campaign, you have, and tell me just by the virtue of being a lawyer, you have Himanta Biswa Sarma, the incumbent chief minister, pick
Right.
up a rifle, aim,
Right.
you see the barrel, you see the bullet, and the aim, which we are not showing because it's that disconcerting,
Correct.
is
Right.
with two men. One of them is wearing a skull cap and the other one is also Muslim. And you can see in terms of the way they are dressed. Where does this say that these are infiltrators and they are not indigenous Indian Muslims?
Now, but Preeti, that's what the point I was coming at. That is the defense of the people. I'm not saying that that is what it is. All I'm trying to say is, because I don't know as to who made the video or why was it made in the first place, this kind of a video should not have been made at all. You don't put up these kind of things. You have to put out things which clearly spell out what you want to do when you become the chief minister or when you want to continue as the chief minister. And certainly this is not something which is going to give you brownie points, not at all. You can say that, yes, there is infiltration, and you can talk about it. And you can say that, yes, there is infiltration. On the other side, I've tried to help out the minority community in XYZ things, and there are these things which I am against, because these are fracturing the country and it is dividing the country. That is something which he should have said. Now, this kind of a video, Preeti, that you pointed out, I'm not saying that this is what it's saying. I'm saying that that is what they are saying. Now, I don't buy that, all these things for a moment, because as a lawyer, at the first blush, to be very honest, I'll tell you, I don't propose these kind of videos at all. If I was in the advisory committee of the, the chief minister of Assam, I would have said that these kind of videos will, in fact, gain you, lesser votes than if you think that they're going to get you more votes. So my answer to that is absolutely no. This is not constitutionally permissible, and it certainly does not behove someone who's upholding a constitutional post or who's having a constitutional post as that of a chief minister, and obviously as someone who's done a lot many good things.
So why is it so difficult then? So why is it so difficult then, Mr. Kothari, to admit that it is in direct violation of the law?
Yes, well, I'll tell you one thing. It is very difficult for them to admit so, and it is very difficult for, unless I come to know that if that is the intention. So that's the reason I'm glad that they pulled it down, because the intention is the key.
It's not about pulling it down. if there, one second, I want to bring in, Mr. Raman
Sure,
Lekhi. Let's
sure,
just expand
sure.
the ambit of this debate.
Yes,
Raman Lekhi,
absolutely.
senior advocate, getting you in. What is your view? Is taking down a video enough right now where, the contents of the video were very, very clear for any layman to understand that this is nothing but this is not just inciting hate, it's a call to arms?
Well, if you call it controversial, you're sanitizing it with all sense and content. It is outright criminal. Now, what it shows is a constitutional authority committing communal murder. Now, it has become the digital matchsticks then, and it's a pixelated pogrom, which you see over here. Absolutely indefensible. There cannot be any debate about it. It is self-evident. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that a video like this it was circulated, and in the kind of environment we have today, which is primarily digital. Once it is placed, erasure will not in any way happen through deletion, because it will be saved elsewhere and would be open for use. And the mistake has been committed. If I'm not, I can't even call it a mistake. It's a blunder which is egregious. In fact, it suggests, and I hope it's not so, it suggests political messaging of some sort. It targets the community and creates a divide. That's absolutely unpardonable and totally unacceptable in a country like ours. And for anyone to in any way attempt to justify it is itself makes the entire thing even more outrageous. No right-thinking person, no person who is a committed Indian, no patriotic Indian, no Indian schooled in Indian values can ever endorse a video like this. This is unprecedented, and I hope this is the last time something like this happens. It is not something, it is not just public violence, it's public mischief, it's public disorder. It will not only target, but create a trigger of a retaliation, and there'll be more chaos still. No way can I in any way justify this particular video. Deletion is not, culpability has to be fixed. This is an institutional failure. This is not a rogue social media post. This is a conscious injection into the political spectrum of a message. And this has necessarily to be punished. And the punitive nature has to be absolutely extreme.
I want to bring in Dushyant Dave back into this conversation because, Mr. Dave, the fact is we can sit here and outrage all we want that, the people behind this video need to be punished. Who takes cognizance? What is stopping the top court of our country to take cognizance of a video which was in public domain for 24 hours before it was taken down?
See, let us understand one thing. It's not the job of the Supreme Court to take a suo motu cognizance in a matter like this. Although it did in Poonawala's case long back in 2018, if I recall correctly. 2023, they made it again very clear that hate speeches will not be tolerated and that suo motu cognizance must be taken by all the police officers. So Supreme Court has directed police officers, and I'm sure the Assam police or police in every state would be entitled to initiate criminal proceedings against. But let me say one thing to what Mr. Kothari said. I think with great respect, Mr. Kothari is completely wrong. Electronic communications are clearly offensive, and they are covered under sections 196, 197, 299, and 353. Now, therefore, this is clearly offenses have been committed. There is no doubt about the offenses having taken place. You don't need to look at mens rea. There is nothing like mens rea here. These are hate speeches. So you don't look at the mind of the person behind it. The hate speeches have been generated. The hate speeches have been given out to the people. And this whole argument of Bangladeshis is a misnomer. Because in last 11 years since Mr. Modi has become Prime Minister, only some 1,000 people have been expelled from this country. So this, according to me, when they use the expression Ghuspetia, the BJP leaders actually mean entire Muslim community. I have no doubt in my mind. They are angling, their whole campaign is against this kind of divide and rule. Their campaign is not on development because they know that there are no jobs, the development is not taking place, people are unhappy, but the only way we can reach out to them is by using religion or by using hatred against the Muslims. And that's something which we have to seriously think, Preeti. No, it is time that democracy needs to be protected. Democracy, we forget everything else. Remember the sacrifices given by our freedom fighters. They fought and gave, their lives in millions. We are forgetting all this. And every day you talk about Ambedkar, you talk about Sardar Patel. Both of them said that Muslims need to be protected. It was Sardar who gave minority, rights under the constitution. So what is happening is really shocking that BJP, one day, yesterday, for example, Mr. Bhagwat made very nice statements. He said, what do you talk about unity? We are all united. And see what happens
Okay.
now.
I
So
just want to bring in Swapnil Kothari, who wants to come in as well. Swapnil Kothari, instead of finding anything, as an excuse, why is it so difficult to admit that this? Go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Make your point,
Yeah,
because
Preeti.
there can be no excuse for this.
Preeti, first of all, I'd just like to bring to Mr. Dave's notice that I'm fully aware that when you put up these kind of things, that offense is already committed. There is no justifiable excuse for anything of that sort. I'm only saying that that is what they're saying as way of defense. I'm not saying that the defense is substantiated or substantial or will stand anything in a court of law would have any matter or would hold any water in a court of law if they are prosecuted. That's number one. Number two, I disagree with him that to say that the BJP is entirely against the entire Muslim community. I'm sure he's not saying just on the basis of this video or anything of that sort, but he's going on the past several instances possibly in his mind. But I don't think so that is the case at all. I think the government has been, for the most part, quite more or less secular in that aspect. Now, the third part is to now call the Muslim community as a minority in this country with a 28 crore population. I think we need to change the definition of minority, or we need to remove them from the definition of minority. That is one of the things that I would suggest. And the third part, Preeti, is that be that as it may, it is very imperative that Mr. Himanta Sarma, apart from pulling it down, needs to apologize. That is what I personally believe, that an apology would stand in good stead. That if this video he can say all that he wants, that, I did not know that this video was put up and all that. He should not be going into that. As the Chief Minister, he's responsible for what comes up.
He's shooting a gun in the
to say
video.
that.
How can you say it was not put up? He recorded it. I'm sorry, Mr. Kothari.
I'm not saying that he's saying that.
You may like him
I'm not saying
personally.
it.
I may
He's
like him
saying it.
personally.
So I'm
but
saying whatever he says should not be said.
You are
That
a
is what
lawyer.
I'm
Don't
saying.
defend this kind of an action, please. for
I'm
God's
not
sake.
defending, sir.
You love this country as much as I do. I know that, Mr. Kothari. Let's be very clear on this. He was He participated in shooting of the film. I mean, what more do you need than that? An apology cannot work. This man like him needs to be taught a lesson in law.
All I'm trying to say, Mr. Dave, is that he said that. I'm not saying that he's... Obviously, if the video has been made with shooting him, then he knows he's aware of the video. So I'm saying that don't come out with these kind of flimsy excuses. He just needs to go out there and apologize and be ready for whatever action that needs to be taken against him or that may be taken against him. That is what I'm saying. I'm not for a moment saying that this is an excuse.
Kothari, he should resign and Prime Minister should ask for his resignation forthwith.
Well, then in that sense, in that case, there are several leaders of the Congress party who go out and say...
I am not here to defend Congress party. If they have done it, they must also be taken to task.
Okay. I want to bring in Mr. Raman Lekhi. I want to bring in Mr. Raman Lekhi for a quick word in, and then we're going to close this debate. Mr. Raman Lekhi, like I said, I'm going to come back to that question. We can sit here and outrage all we want. Clearly, action is not being taken. Leave alone an apology. The excuses and the explanations are as flimsy as they get. How can tangible action be taken that something like this is not repeated again?
Well, anyone can register an FIR. There's a cognizable offence is apparent.
It's already been registered by Mr. Ovesi.
So once an FIR is registered, it has to be investigated. It has to be taken to an absolutely natural conclusion. I don't think apology at all can be factored in this because the offence stands committed. The apology cannot efface it. And as far as the punishment is concerned, the punishment has to follow. And it has to be absolutely unforgiving because an example has to be set that a thing like this must never be repeated because this is a red line which has been crossed, which should not have been crossed. Speech cannot ever stimulate violence, and you cannot ever frame a discourse on civilizational terms in this country because then you will be completely undoing its heritage. So I personally feel that there is adequate provision in law to do it. And if a matter has come to the Supreme Court, hopefully the Supreme Court will also intervene, put its heft behind it, and ensure that this is taken to its logical conclusion and the wrongdoer is actually in the dock.
All right, I appreciate all three of you for joining us. Thank you there because also, viewers, just go a week ago. A week ago, you had the Chief Minister of Assam who went on record to say, pay a Muslim or a Mia, who he called, 1 rupee less than you pay somebody else if you hire their rickshaw. There was outrage, but not enough. And a week later, lo and behold, we have a video where you have the chief minister pick up a gun and point blank, as per the video shares, shoot. Shoot down who? On the other end of the barrel were 2 Muslim men. What do you make of that? All right, I want to cut across right now because an election is in order. All of this that you see right now on your television screens, on social media, has practically everything to do with an election. Assam will go to vote in the next couple of months, and you can clearly see the polarizing communal campaign there. I have with me former Chief Election Commissioner, Mr. S.Y. Qureshi. Thank you, sir, for taking the time out and joining us. What do you make of the deeply communal, divisive and bigoted social media post that was put forth by the BJP Assam handle? Since then, it has been put down. How damaging do you think it is, especially in a state that is headed for elections?
Well, we see the hate discourse is on the increase and multiplying by the day. And the fact that they get away with it, that is the sad part of it, because that shows institutional failure. All institutions are failing. Now, I'll just read out to you 4 sections. Allow me, Preeti. 153 of IPC. I do not know the latest equivalent. 153A IPC. Promoting enmity between different groups on grounds of religion, etc., prejudicial to the maintenance of harmony. Does it not attract that or many other incidents which you haven't yet talked about that? Then by word, by signs, by visible representation, this is what it is. And the punishment up to 3 years imprisonment or fine or both up to 5 years. Now, section 153B. All the entire nation should know these sections by heart. The institutions I am talking about should know them. Anyway, imputations or assertions prejudicial to national integration, that is saying a community is disloyal to India. Now, 153B of IPC. 295A of IPC, deliberate and malicious acts intended to outrage religious feelings. Is it not intended to outrage the religious feeling? You decide. 505(2) IPC, statements creating or promoting enmity, hatred, or ill will between classes. Now, this is happening with impunity by one leader after the other. They seem to be in the kind of a competition, election or no election. This is happening all the time. But police keeps quiet. They're very selective. They will catch a journalist before he even utters a word, or he or she utters a word that they were creating enmity. These sections are used only selectively, which even a blind man can see. I'm very upset to be talking about in terms of Hindu-Muslim. We never did it all our life for the last 60, 65 years. But now this has become the norm. So you tell me what to do. Whatever is the court doing, the court used to jump in the suo moto on these issues. But even when the cases go to court, they don't do anything. The fact that this is going on, and I sometimes feel that this is according to a script written very carefully by a class of people, and everybody is acting on that script.
Now, Mr. Qureshi, you talk about the courts stepping in and taking suo moto cognizance and what's stopping them. I want to just expand on now what the role is of the Election Commission. I understand that the role only kicks in after the Model Code of Conduct and elections are announced. But it just shows the toothless body that the Election Commission is, because all of this is right into election season, where we're just about, 10 days before elections are announced.
Well, Election Commission has a limitation. Before they announce the dates of the election, Model Code doesn't kick in, and before that, Election Commission is totally powerless. But during the election, once the election has been announced, they have to step in. They have been stepping in. I don't know whether, I don't have a record whether lately they have been very alert or not. But we were very extremely alert, and slightest remark which will not fit into the Model Code of Conduct, we will pounce on them. So now the institutions have also relaxed a bit. That's the matter of concern, and there should be a national public debate. And worst of all, please don't mind. You are an exception, Preeti, and your channel is an exception. But what about the so-called Godi media? The people, who want to go to the nation, nation wants to know on every day, every prime time, every channel. I'm not singling out some one particular channel. But what has happened to them? For them, these are non-issues. What's happening? What's happening? Where are we headed? India is the greatest democracy in the world. I had in my time set up an institute in Election Commission of India called India International Institute of Democracy and Election Management. And I'm very happy to tell you that 143 countries have sent their election managers, top managers, including their chief commissioners and commissioners, to learn from India. Election-wise, we are a wish guru. Now, if wish guru becomes insensitive to these things, this is going to do a lot of damage to our global reputation, and we should be conscious of it. Just for immediate electoral gain, we close our eyes. This is very short-sighted. It may be in political interest, but it is not in national interest whatsoever, completely.
Thank you, Mr. Qureshi, for taking the time out and joining us. We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments. Is deleting that post enough? And that's the question that we ask viewers.
सर आप एक काम करिए, आप मुझे बता दीजिए क्या कहना है मुझे अच्छा एक मिनट बैठे हैं
A rare confrontation is unfolding in Parliament.
मैं आपका सलाहकार नहीं हूं, लेकिन एज ए स्पीकर के नाते मेरा ये दायित्व बनता है कि सदन नियम प्रक्रियाओं से चले.
The opposition is preparing to move a no-confidence motion against Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, accusing him of institutional bias.
Defense Minister, Home Minister, Parliamentary, Prime Minister. No, Prime Minister साहब. बोलने तो दीजिए सर. वो भी नहीं बोल रहा है.
At the heart of the standoff is leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi being denied the opportunity to speak. Opposition parties argue this is not an isolated incident, but part of a broader pattern.
Nationalism पर हम सब opposition के nationalism पर सवाल उठाते हैं. इस आर्टिकल में प्राइम मिनिस्टर और राजनाथ सिंह के कैरेक्टर के बारे में जनरल नारावाने ने लिखा है. मैंने आपको व्यवस्था दे दी इस विषय पर. मैं सिर्फ वो कह रहा हूं. व्यवस्था दे दी इस विषय पर.
In a final push ahead of the motion, 6 opposition MPs have written to the Speaker. The letter, signed by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and other women MPs, urges him to act impartially. The MPs allege the Speaker has acted at the government's behest, allowing defamatory remarks against Congress women MPs to remain on record. They also question his independence, citing reports that he was awaiting the government's response before acting.
स्पीकर साहब का खुद मैंने पहले भी बोला निरादर किया गया है और स्पीकर साहब पे इतना प्रेशर है कि उनको खुद स्टेटमेंट देना पड़ रहा है जो सही नहीं है. अभी सवाल ही नहीं उठता कि कोई मोदी जी पे कोई हाथ उठाए या कुछ ऐसा करे. सवाल ही नहीं उठता. और 11 महिला एमपी हैं, मैं एक हूँ और 10 और हैं कांग्रेस की. उनमें से किसी को आप देखिए, सब सीरियस लेडीज़ हैं. कोई ऐसे थोड़ी है कि जाके पीएम साहब को कुछ करेंगी.
So first of all, actually, we would like to strongly express our anguish to the speaker, because that's not an easy charge made by a honorable speaker of the house. He's the custodian of the house. If any problem the MPs, women MPs, or any member of parliament has faced inside the parliament, we have to go to speaker and express our problem. But speaker himself turned accuser. Where do we go?
Congress MP R. Sudha has moved a privilege motion demanding that the Speaker's remarks be expunged from the record. Tensions peaked last Thursday when proceedings were adjourned early. Speaker Om Birla said he had received inputs about an unexpected act targeting the Prime Minister.
हम सबको सदन सुचारू रूप से चलाने में सहयोग करना चाहिए. इसके बाद जब सदन के नेता को सम्माननीय महामहिम राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण पर जवाब देना था, तो मेरे पास पुख्ता ऐसी जानकारी आई कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के कई सदस्य माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के आसन पर पहुंचकर कोई भी अप्रत्याशित घटना कर सकती है।
The BJP has pushed back sharply against the opposition's claims.
आपको लगता है कि विपक्ष में कोई हिम्मत है, ताकत है, हैसियत है? आप ये सोचो कि जब उनको पता है कि कुछ होना नहीं है, तो मीडिया के सुर्खियों में बने रहने के लिए कुछ तो करना है ना।
The speaker can be removed only through a resolution passed in the Lok Sabha. A no-confidence motion requires the support of at least 50 MPs. The resolution must be carried by a majority of members present and voting. A 14-day prior notice to the speaker is mandatory. The speaker does not preside over the motion. The speaker may speak, participate, and vote except in the event of a tie. And the numbers tell their own story. On paper, the opposition falls short. But politically, the escalation is unmistakable. The speaker is under scrutiny. The temperature in Parliament is rising. And even without the numbers, the opposition is signalling that this fight for now is as much about accountability as it is about arithmetic. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, our face-off for this evening, Adil Singh Bopuroy, National Spokesperson, Congress, Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Both of you will begin with 2 minutes each. Adil Singh Bopuroy, to move a no-confidence motion, you might not have the numbers, but the implications are huge. In the entire history of the country, no-confidence motions have been moved only 31 times and only thrice against speakers.
Preeti, the Parliament of India has been reduced into a notice board. I repeat, the Parliament of India has been reduced into a notice board courtesy the BJP and their strong arm tactics. The Speaker, as an authority, is a custodian of the House. He's under a bounden duty to be impartial and not exercise any bias despite his own political ideology. And what do you see in reality? The opposition is being gagged. The leader of opposition is being gagged. Frivolous, defamatory, and absolutely preposterous public statements are being made by the Speaker. What do you expect us to do? Are we not required to hold the executive accountable to the acts of omission and commission? Today in this country, you have India's energy security policy outsourced to President Trump. He decides where will we buy from and how much will we buy from. This kind of surrender has never happened in the history of independent India. He has surrendered our foreign policy. A former chief of army staff comes on record in his book, which is published, by the way, where he categorically states that the Prime Minister did not come forward and did not give us guidance on the political issue of whether we should confront China or not. And at the same time, you have the BJP and their WhatsApp propaganda, which try to caricature the Prime Minister as somebody who is a strong man. The difficulty today, Preeti, is that governance, foreign policy, strategic autonomy is all being sacrificed just to safeguard the image of Mr. Modi as a strong man. This kind of megalomania, narcissism is antithetical and adverse to the future of India and to the future of 1.5 billion Indians. I think this is what we really need to take stock of today.
Okay, but Adil, what does it have to do with moving a no-confidence motion against the Speaker? I'm not talking about, what the idea of the Prime Minister is, where the Congress is concerned, but I'll circle back to you. 2 minutes, Sanju Verma, because some of the charges, you've had MPs now write to the Speaker on how they have been mistreated, and one of the charges is grave, where the charge is that the Speaker has allowed on record disparaging and defamatory statements made against women MPs.
Preeti, let's get one thing very clear. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha, Om Birla in this case, has sweeping powers under Article 93, 94, 96, 100, 110 of the Constitution. Om Birla, as the presiding officer of the Lok Sabha, has speaking powers under the 10th schedule of the Constitution. For the Congress or anybody from the opposition to cast aspersions and say that, oh, Om Birla is BJP's agent, oh, Om Birla is prejudiced against the opposition, I think that's a whole lot of balderdash. And I'll tell you why. I always say that look at the track record of the concerned people before you take them seriously. And when I say you, I mean the Janta at large. Rahul Gandhi and the entire Darbari ecosystem wanted a discussion on inflation, on unemployment, on Adani, on Manipur, on Ram Mandir, on Pegasus, on CAA, on WACC, on Article 370, on budget after budget during the budget session, on SIR, on so-called vote chori. 99% of the time, BJP, the Modi government was willing to have a discussion on the floor of the House, but Rahul Gandhi was MIA. Rahul Gandhi's basic policy is shoot and scoot. And the other thing I want to say, you know, the Congress spokesperson said Modi ji is suffering from megalomania. Megalomania Congress ke satta ke dauran hua karta tha. Congress in the first 54 years that it was in power in the center brought in 597 ordinances, which means, you know, every year 11 ordinances were passed. The Congress amended the constitution over 78 times without taking opposition into confidence. And the Congress used Article 356, Preeti, to dismiss duly elected governments 107 times. 49 times Indira Gandhi alone dismissed duly elected state governments. So don't lecture the BJP.
Okay, ma'am, your time is over, and that's unfortunately all the time that we have for in this face-off. I wish we had 2 more minutes each to give you, but thank you for taking the time out and joining us this evening. Appreciated. We had a bit of news break in the beginning, and that has caused less time for our panelists.